Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry, where today we are revisiting the Repulse. And the reason for that is because the Repulse is currently in the shipyard for a pretty bargain price, if I remember correctly. Can't check right now because obviously this is the press account, I already have the ship here, but I did purchase her in my personal as well, because the Repulse is a fascinating ship. Now, if you are looking at the British tech tree and you're a bit overwhelmed as a new player, fear not, I shall try to explain this very briefly. You have two battleship lines. Well, what they call battleship. The problem here is that in-game we only have the 4 classifications of destroyer, cruiser, battleship and carrier. There are unfortunately many more ship classes that the game doesn't explicitly call out. For example, in this case, battlecruisers. The difference between a battleship and a battlecruiser is that generally speaking, the battlecruiser is faster but pays for it with less armor. In the case of the British line, we have the original line starting at the Bellerophon and then going through the Queen Elizabeth at tier 6 all the way up to the Conqueror. And we have the newer battlecruiser line that allows you to hop from the Bellerophon up to the Indefatigable, because just because you just ground through tier 3 doesn't mean that you don't have to do it again. But then you can make your way up to the Renown and eventually to the absolutely excellent St. Vincent, which is one of the best battleship classified ships in the game at this point from the tech tree side. So what's the difference between the two? In very brief words, the traditional battleship line, so the Conqueror line, has very good high explosive, has decent armor piercing, but suffers from not the greatest armor in the world. Whereas the battlecruiser lines up to the St. Vincent have absolutely murderous armor piercing on their guns and do have less armor, even less armor, but are nonetheless the more dangerous ships, especially at range. They can cause a lot of damage. But we're looking at tier 6. So at tier 6 in the tech tree, we have the Renown on the tech tree line, and we've got the Queen Elizabeth. We also now have the Repulse. Let's begin by comparing the Renown to the Queen Elizabeth, because I think that'll make it a little clearer. The Queen Elizabeth gets the rapid reload, the Renown gets the engine boost. The Renown has worse armor, but is a noticeably faster ship and also a bit more maneuverable than the Queen Elizabeth. She does get, technically, at least on paper, the same 381 millimeter main guns, but she only gets 3 twin turrets instead of the 4. In return, she gets a 3-second faster reload, bit better range, and as you can see, she loses a bit on the high explosive, but the armor piercing is better. The Renown also gets torpedo tubes, although these are a bit weird single-launched torpedo tubes, but they exist, and has a better concealment. Now, if we're looking at the Repulse compared to the Renown, we see that the Repulse trades the defensive AA on the Renown, which is frankly not that important at tier 6, for a rapid reload. And that means she gets both the engine boost from the battlecruisers and the rapid reload from the battleships. And with that, the Repulse is even significantly more maneuverable than the Renown, and she still gets a faster base reload, better range, and she doesn't quite get the same armor piercing damage because she has the Queen Elizabeth's guns. That doesn't mean that the armor piercing on these guns is bad. In fact, it is very, very good, and you should absolutely be using it. As mentioned, she does not get the torpedo tubes, and the AA on the Repulse is absolutely terrifyingly bad, so you don't really have anything to do with that anyway. So we have sort of a mix between the two. We have the Queen Elizabeth guns in 3 turrets with a very good maneuverability, the Renown's engine boost, and an all-around good little battlecruiser. You can and absolutely should go for reload here. I am having the main battery reload 3% from the elite bonus. If we look at the camouflage, it is sort of your standard battleship camo, which is okay. It gives hit points, range, the dispersion, and I would have preferred concealment over torpedo damage reduction, but it is the standard historical battleship camo. I am personally running the main battery mod 2. You could take the main battery mod 1 for better turret traverse, because that would not be a bad choice on this ship. And I'm actually building for concealment here, not for radar control, but it's tier 6. You can do either, I'd say. And if we're looking at the commander, this is where it gets a little funky, because you're sort of... One of the benefits of premium ships is that you can trade the commanders out with regular ships without retraining. But given that you have both the engine boost and the rapid reload, yeah, I mean, you could probably just... if you were to take a commander, you could probably take one from the traditional battleship line, not from the battlecruiser line. But I have obviously chosen Tovi because of the APCS Plus, which is a great skill to have. Other than that, I am using the armament repair in case I do lose one of my gun turrets, which is a bit of an unusual choice, but given I don't have any defensive A or AA to speak of anyway. I'm also using Fire Supremacy for an extra rapid reload, and obviously the Master Reloader for the whole thing. Now, the Repulse can be a bit of a Citadel monster, but only if RNGesus smiles at you. If he giveth and he taketh away. So you could go for the Citadel Strike. I'm personally going for horizontal protection. It's not a huge difference, horizontal protection, because the ship isn't particularly well armored. So Citadel Strike is not a terrible choice to make, especially if you were to take a commander that you would share with the Battlecruiser line. But then you would not be going for the Master Reloader, so yeah, kind of a bit of a choice there. Or you might, I don't think you would go for Giant Hunter either, but anyway. Tovi it is on the Repulse. Have I said Renown instead of Repulse? I probably have a couple of times during this video. You know, they're so close to each other. So we are playing a fully maxed out tier 6 premium battlecruiser with Queen Elizabeth guns and rapid reload, engine boost, and historical camo, Tovi, and premium consumables. So let's see what this little thing is capable of. Round number 1 starts off as a 4v4. Again, matchmaking has been hilariously aggressive. I had waits of maybe 4 or 5 seconds, and despite the fact that it was busiest time on the server, I get immediately thrown into games with bots in it. But we are playing Domination Southern Archipelago, nice map, against Double Colorado, Dunkirk, and a Farragut. The rest is bots, so we will have some bot elimination going on here as well. But it gives a nice little... this round's giving a nice little overview of what the ship's capable of and how you can play it, because this is a fast ship. So given that you're in tier 6, you kind of want to be relatively aggressive in it. I do have a Dallas here with me, so that might help against the Farragut if we get to spot him. But I have 3 engine boosts, and I'm not afraid to use them. So we are definitely gonna pop that and go into D-Cup. Then we'll see what comes around. Your biggest weapon is your maneuverability. Definitely destroys over there. It's either the bot main or it's the Farragut. Your biggest benefit is your maneuverability and your speed, combined with the relatively rapid firing guns that can just dish out a lot of damage. The secondaries are kind of an afterthought. So if you are faced with enemy destroyers, you kind of have to make sure that you're keeping your distance. But it's with the rapid reload on, you still have the Queen Elizabeth guns, and the HE could do something pretty nasty. There is the Almirante Cochrane, and given that we have nothing better to shoot at, we might as well start opening up at the bot. Now, what you are going to notice here with the guns is that the dispersion can be a little trollish. And the obvious counter to that is to play the ship at ranges where it doesn't matter. And that's where kind of your speed is and your maneuverability come in, because with over 30 knots you can run circles around standard type battleships like that Colorado over there. So let's get the Alba out of the way, and then we can start dealing with the Colorado. And you see we are doing consistent full penetrations with it. Let's use the first rapid reload. Colorado is already shooting probably at me, but with the rapid reload up, we have like a 10-second reload or something. So it's really not significant. If there is the Farragut out there, then I have a Dallas here. Oh, there he is. Hello, Mr. Farragut. Okay, we'll take the shots at the Colorado. Apologies for the birds outside. There's lorikeets on my balcony, and they got into an argument with the local butcher birds. So switch to the high explosive. Unfortunately, the Farragut has now ducked behind the island. So if he doesn't want to come out, I'll waste it on the Colorado, and then we get back to the armor piercing. Farragut is low, so Dallas should be able to finish him off. He has smoked up. I don't think Dallas has sonar. I'm not sure if she has sonar, but yeah, Farragut is running. Dallas is switching fire, so I'm going to take on the Colorado, because just avoiding the inevitable Farragut torpedoes if they're coming in. And the other thing that you'll see me doing relatively frequently in this game is going to be to use the manual aim. So like right now, I am switching off the default aim. Dallas is smart and has gone defensive against Colorado. So that is a perfect position to use the rapid reload and unload at the Colorado. What you're trying to do, and what completely failed here just now because of dispersion, is to hit the deck armor. Because even at point blank, you're not punching through a Colorado's belt, but you can absolutely punch through his deck armor. And he's oblivious to the fact that I'm right next to him. So all Dallas had to do was try not to die. Unfortunately, well played, Dallas. Unfortunately, the Dallas has gone down. And I have been able to finish off the Colorado. That just leaves two enemy battleships over there. Game's not yet over, however, because these two battleships are facing one of our cruisers and one of our destroyers. So I am not certain, I am very much not certain what the outcome of that is going to be. But we'll head over there and make ourselves useful when we eventually get there. Because once again, even without the engine boost, I'm doing 31 knots. Which means I have effectively cruiser speed and battleship armor, battleship guns, and the armor is somewhere in between. So that's a bot Fubuki. So he's actually smartly running away, but that's a full health Colorado. So that cruiser on our side is going to go down presumably, and we're still 200 points ahead, but there's still 2.5 minutes to go. So I have no idea. The bot Fubuki, if he gets into range anywhere, he's going to die. But we can make ourselves still useful and just farm a bit more damage. I'm still on full hit points. I've still got two heals. So I am going straight for that Colorado, and we're going to get ourselves into a brawl. I have got another battleship following me, and I still haven't managed to kill the cruiser. So I can, and that is a low health Dunkirk. So we'll begin with the Colorado. Hello, Mr. Colorado. And he is just getting his guns around, but I'm waiting for the 8-second mark to trigger my rapid reload. And then we keep aiming for the Colorado's belt, for the Colorado's deck and not for the belt. So any shots going into the belt will only do semi-pens, but going for the deck is going to give you the full pens. Now we are going in different directions, which means that, and unfortunately some of them go high and overpen the superstructure. We're going in different directions, which makes the manual aim a little bit awkward. He's seen the low health Fubuki, is going for him now, trying to pull a kill back, which is not a terrible idea, but that gives them a couple of points. But that cruiser is still alive on our side, and I'm just going to leave the Colorado to the battleship behind me and deal with the Dunkirk, because that Dunkirk, he dropped it into my belt, which means his 330s definitely not doing anything, and I'm trying to aim for his guns or for the deck plating. He is going defensive as he should, but he should have been a lot further away. So because he was on low hit points and is now a very dead Dunkirk. Colorado is still up at this point, and but now it's just a matter of finishing that thing off. So with a little rampage here, we have actually done reasonably well. Now, if the enemy team isn't distracted, and if they're actually shooting at you, look at the dispersion if you get lucky. If the enemy team isn't distracted and is actually shooting at you, like 8 kilometers is a good range to fight something like a Colorado. And because of your speed, you are going to absolutely be dictating the engagement. So if I get that next salvo on target, that should be the Kraken Unleashed for the fifth with the 5th kill. Not sure which direction Colorado is going, but Dispersion said no. Dispersion said no. The rear turrets just flew straight over it, and Colorado, I think, has been healing a bit back. So Kraken denied, but we've still done a comfortable close to 90,000 points of damage. This is tier 6, right? This would be a good damage number for tier 10. And I haven't even had any citadels. So personally, even without APCS, I've had games where I've scored 5-6 citadels. Easy, especially on the standard type battleships. Because things like Colorados and New Mexicos have relatively weak deck armor. And if you can get close to them, you can do a lot of damage. So, because it's fun, we're doing it again. And we are facing a Löwenhardt, an enemy repulse, a double New Mexico, Galissoniere, Hatsuharu, and a Gnevny on Scorching Island. That's Scorching Islands is a nice mid-tier map because it's not easily it's not easily getting lemming trained. You just kind of have to keep a bit of an eye to the center area. Against carriers, you are not particularly effective because your AA is terrible. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But we have a good mix. I've got a Black Fushun here, which is an excellent ship as well. And we've got a Kirkdine, so something to deal with enemy destroyers if necessary. Fushun goes center, which is an interesting choice. I would generally, as a destroyer, not have gone center, but depends where the carrier is. It is a Löwenhardt, but I think the Löwenhardt gets high explosive dive bombers. I'm not 100% certain, but maybe he thought he'd be relatively safe from them. Anyway, there come the dive bombers, and he is going for the Kirkdine. And there come the torpedo bombers, so I'm going to try and shield him. I have the Galissoniere to shoot at now, at 12 kilometers, so shots out. I'm going to see if I can take the torpedoes for the Kirkdine and save him some hit points. And where's the carrier? There he is, yeah. Give me those torpedoes, I can sustain that much better. There's the Löwenhardt, hello. Unfortunately, he's being escorted by the Hatsuharu, so shots out at the Löwenhardt, high explosive and already slowing down. Because, you know, there are going to be Hatsuharu torpedoes, Kirkdine, there are going to be Hatsuharu torpedoes in the water. Be careful, stop there. You'll be running, yep, there they come. That's why I've been slowing you down already. Okay, you're in a light cruiser, you should be able to avoid these. So if you, yep, Kirkdine is sailing between the torpedoes. We got a couple of shots on target. I was going to say hits. Don't ban me, YouTube. I was going to say hits and shots at the same time. Okay, from that little dodge action, I have been, unfortunately, yes, he definitely has AG bombers. I have been pushed back a little bit. Hatsuharu has gone undetected. We've shot a plane down, and we don't really have anything else to shoot, so I might as well shoot at the Repulse. And again, try to... No, shoot him. Don't drop the Kirkdine. Okay, the carrier is definitely going for the Kirkdine now. So let's see that we can at least shield him from incoming fire from the Repulse. Because if I get myself in the middle, let's not forget about the Hatsuharu who's somewhere out there. If I get myself in the middle, then between him and his target, then he can't lock onto the Kirkdine, and he's not going to be actually shooting at the Kirkdine. But he is coming under fire from the Fushun. There come the inevitable Hatsuharu torpedoes. Enemy Repulse is otherwise occupied, and yep, I see you there, carrier. You've been spotted again. Not sure if Kirkdine is going to be able to deal with the Hatsuharu, unfortunately. It seems not to be. So we'll see. Hatsuharu, but now Fushun is coming in and is going for the carrier as well. Carrier is a little... the Löwenhardt isn't bad. I think that thing has pretty decent secondaries, but yeah. Let's engine boost up in case the Hatsuharu is dropping torpedoes on me. And the Fushun torpedoes, I'm not sure if these were meant for the Hatsuharu. I think given that the Fushun has been shooting at the Löwenhardt, they were meant for the carrier. And this is a bit risky because there might be Hatsuharu torpedoes in the water. But I'm kind of relying on the Kirkdine here to... Yep, Hatsuharu has actually dropped me, I think. But I had the engine boost running, so that wasn't a problem. Okay, Kirkdine's taken on the Hatsuharu, and that means I can finish off the Löwenhardt, and then we're going to go for the capture circle, because meanwhile, while the enemy team only has lost 2 destroyers, our other flank has completely collapsed by the looks of it. So there are 2 battleships and a cruiser hunting down the other flank, and they are playing very defensive, so we're going to go for the capture circle. Going to use the rapid reload here to finish off the Löwenhardt. And then once my engine boost is up, I can use the last engine boost to head for the enemy capture circle and just have to deal with the repulse there. You see how the dispersion can, well, sometimes you get good ones, sometimes not so much, but that Löwenhardt is out of options and now very dead. And he is not going after the Kirkdine, trying to do more damage. He's going after me, but it's not helping him. So now we just have to deal with the repulse. And Kirkdine, you may want to dodge that, because that thing hurts. I know that because I'm in one. Leroy Jenkins, yep. Here we go. It's on, Mr. Repulse. It's on. And he's still shooting at the Kirkdine. I'm just swinging my rear turret around, but this is gonna hurt, my friend. I've got the hit points to spare. I'm not quite in secondary range yet, but we are definitely going to. I've almost got my rapid reload again ready, so we are definitely going to finish you off. The problem, of course, is that the enemy team has also finished off our carrier, and we have now lost the Kirkdine. That is a bit of an issue. I would have really hoped that we had not lost the Kirkdine, because that's points. And yeah, the Gokase has been taken out by the Galicionaire. Repulse has managed to dodge the torpedoes. Not that it's going to help him. Well played, Repulse, but he is going down, and we are now capping. And there's the enemy New Mexico. The friendly carrier has still managed to have fighters up there. So I am not sure why he's trying to win harder. The problem obviously being that I only have a Fushun, and they still have a cruiser. And a cruiser is worth more points than a destroyer. However, we are having, and yes, these things hurt, but he needs to go down. We have the advantage in I think, no, actually they do have the advantage in cap timing as well. So they're capping earlier. We are going to finish off that New Mexico, and there you can see what the deck plating is doing. And hopefully one of the other ones comes out. Fushun is helping to cap, and we are capping. I think we're actually about to overtake them in capping. So it's going to come down to the wire, because we're 9 points behind after killing the New Mexico. So once we finish the cap, we're going to start to have a points income, but we only have 20 seconds left in the game. So it's going to be really, really close. And I am rushing ahead now, hoping that somebody else is popping up, but that's not the case. So we are going to start getting a points income, but I think we are 1 tick behind. 3, 2, 1, come on, 1 more tick. And no, it wasn't meant to be. So with 3 points and 1 tick, with 1 second to spare away from the draw, we have unfortunately lost this battle. But as you can see, the Repulse is an absolutely excellent tier 6 ship. She's great fun to play, and you can have really good games with this thing. You're going to do a ton of damage. If you have a bit of situational awareness, it can pick your targets and use the speed that the ship provides. You can easily take on tier 7 battleships, and it's just a joy to play. So I can thoroughly recommend, if you have the shipyard resources, to get yourself one out of the shipyard and have some fun with it. And that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.